السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. طلابي الأعزاء، طلاب الفرقة الثالثة بالمجمع التكنولوجي المتكامل بالأميرية، أهلا وسهلا بحضراتكم مرة أخرى مع مادة التكنيكال إنجليش والدكتور بدر عبد الفتاح. Today's topic is very interesting, and I'm sure that it will be very simple and very easy for not just most of you, but all of you. So today's topic is about, as you see, is about Thomas Edison. And I usually prefer to start with a kind of a pre-reading question, a pre-reading discussion. I know that this is not a face-to-face session, but anyway, I prefer to start with just, asking you a pre-reading question about the topic that we are going to read about today. So the pre-reading discussion or the pre-reading question is about, what do you know about Thomas Edison? I'm sure that everyone has, much information about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is an American inventor. He is a person who developed the light bulb. He is a person who invented the motion camera. He is a person who invented the phonograph and some other devices and machines. So this is just a brief overview about Thomas Edison in order to respond to our pre-reading discussion question. Now we're going, as usual, to move to read the article. It's very short, very simple, just 2 paragraphs, and then we will explain if there are any difficult or new words, and then we will move at the end to answer the questions about Thomas Edison. So Thomas Edison, born in 1847, had a lot of trouble in school. He got poor grades and didn't listen to the teacher. Instead, he would daydream. Perhaps he daydreamed about interesting things he could make. His mother decided that she would teach Thomas at home. He started reading as many books as he could to learn a lot about many different subjects. So one more time, the idea of the first paragraph is mainly focused on Thomas Edison. It's focused on his date of birth, which is 1847, and his problems when he was just a kid in the school. It's mentioned in the first paragraph that Thomas Edison had a lot of trouble when he was a student in his school, and his performance wasn't good at all. It was like poor performance at school, and he didn't listen to the teacher, and his main problem was he would daydream. daydream معناها ايه؟ معناها ان هو يعني احنا بنسميه daydreaming اللي هي احلام اليقظة. It's as if you are imagining something and your mind is somewhere else. Okay, you don't pay attention to what is said to you, and you are imagining and thinking of other things as if you're doing, great achievements and such stuff. So this is the meaning of the word daydream. Of course, his daydream was focused on making and inventing devices and inventing things. And that's why his mother decided that she would teach Thomas at home. And he immediately started reading as many books as he could to learn about many different subjects. So this is the explanation of the first paragraph. Now we're going to move to next and the last paragraph. Edison was most interested in learning how things were put together and how they worked. He became a great student when he was able to study what interested him. Thomas Edison went on to become a very famous inventor. He invented the motion picture camera and the phonograph. He also improved the light bulb, electric motor, and typewriter. He invented too many things to list. Edison created over 1,000 new things. His home and the laboratory in New Jersey is now a museum. So that's the second paragraph and the last paragraph of the article. Here, one more time, we're talking about Thomas Edison. We're talking about his interest in learning how things were put together, how things were, made. And he became, step by step, he became a great student only when he was given the way to learn what interested him. دي نقطة مهمة جدا في حياة توماس أديسون، إن هو بدأ يبقى طالب عظيم، طالب متفوق لما بالفعل بدأ يدرس الأشياء اللي بيحب دراستها. Of course, he invented many devices and many machines. It's not just the light bulb that he improved. No, he also invented the motion picture camera, phonograph, electric motor, and typewriter. It's like he can like list like 1,000 items that was invented by Thomas Edison. And of course, his home and laboratory at the end in New Jersey, one of the states of the United States, is now a museum that kept his name and his inventions where he lived. This is a paragraph, the second paragraph, and this is the passage on Thomas Edison. I think it's very simple and very easy. Now we're going to move to address some questions. Famous inventors Thomas Edison comprehension questions. Question number 1. Thomas Edison worked on all of the following except. Is it the light bulb, the cotton gin, the motion picture camera, the phonograph? Okay, if you focused on my reading to the article, of course, you'd find that he worked on all of the following. Yes, he worked on the light bulb, he worked on the motion picture camera, he worked on the phonograph, but of course he didn't work on the cotton gin. That's question number 1. Question number 2. Edison's mother taught him at home because he had done poorly at school. There was no school nearby. She knew he would be a great inventor. She was the teacher for the whole town. Of course, that's the first choice. He had done poorly at school. That's why his mother decided to teach him at home. Third one, read the following sentence. He got poor grades and didn't listen to the teacher. Instead, he would daydream. Perhaps he daydreamed about interesting things he could make. The word daydream means, is it to fall asleep during the day, to draw things in a book, to imagine things inside your head, to play games with friends? So I think I explained the meaning of the word daydream when I was explaining the first paragraph. So the answer here is to, yes, third one is to imagine things inside your head. We talked about daydream before, and the meaning here is to imagine things inside your head. Next question, question number 4. This passage is mostly about. Is it about Edison's work on the electric light bulb? Is it about Edison's education and accomplishments? Accomplishments means achievements. Edison's relationship with his mother. Why Edison struggled in school. One more time, when I ask you about the main idea of the passage, or this passage is mostly about, you need to focus on the most discussed idea, the dominating idea in the article, in the passage. Of course, in the passage, in the article, we talked about Edison's work on the electric light bulb. We talked about Edison's relationship with his mother. We don't talk about it in any direct way, but implicitly. We talked about that, and we talked about why Edison struggled in school. We talked about that a little bit, but the main idea, the passage, is mostly about the second one. It's mostly about his education and his achievements or accomplishments or inventions. That's for question number 4. For question number 5 and question number 6, they are not objective questions. He can, get back to the text in order to answer them. Describe how Edison learned things after he stopped going to school. He read as many books as he could, and he learned what he liked to learn. Simply, this is an answer, a brief answer for question number 5, and he can add answers, different answers, various answers for the same question. Question number 6, which is based on the passage. Why would Edison's home and laboratory be turned into a museum? That's a good question. It's an open question. The answer is not there in the article, in the passage. Why would Edison's home and laboratory be turned into a museum? He can talk about how great he was, his inventions, his accomplishments, his achievements that made people try to remember him over and over, and that's why they decided to turn his own home to be like, and lab to be like a museum, just to remember him forever. The last question is, the question below is an incomplete sentence. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence. Edison's learned about how things were put together and how they worked. He became a great inventor. Is it but he became a great inventor? Do we have a contrast before or after or although? So Edison learned about how things were put together and how they worked before, that's before he became a great inventor. That's the end of today's session on Thomas Edison. دي نهاية المحاضرة بتاعتنا عن توماس أديسون. أتمنى إن احنا نكون استفدنا منها وتعلمنا منها. المحاضرة بسيطة وسهلة جدا الموضوع بتاعها، ولو في أي أسئلة عند حضراتكم طبعا تقدروا إن انتوا to text me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you so much and goodbye.